Welcome to the 6018 podcast. If you know, you know. Mel, Jack, Anna, and James.
Welcome to the 6018. If you know, you know. Mel, Chet, Anna, James, those are the names. So one thing we always heard a lot growing up, because we're preachers' kids, we're pastors' kids, second generation pastor kids, or third, however that works. One thing we always heard a lot of, now y'all older than me, so I want to ask y'all this question about preachers' kids. Are preachers' kids the worst? Because that's always what I remember hearing growing up.
Me and AD were best friends since we were 2 years old. Got to a certain point where AD family was different than our family. I remember used to get teased called the Cosbys because we had two parents in the household. So, you know, one thing that we would argue about, he'd be like, you don't understand, man. Like, your father at home. And I'd be like, but he beat me, bro. You can keep him, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
That you mentioned. I always looked at it like I get it from the expectation point of view. That, so I guess there are different ways to look at it. Like, well, aren't you guys supposed to be this? Because you got to think, in the black church, the preacher, the pastor is revered as the anointed one. So if this guy's, don't put your mouth on guys and whatever the silly thing people say. So it's like, if that's how they feel, then they think this person is special. So aren't the kids also supposed? You're privy to that information,
right?
You see all that stuff, you know all that stuff, but you're supposed to have a responsibility to bear all that stuff,
right? Yep.
And keep it quiet.
Yep.
The worst part is, what does this do for that kid's thought process toward God?
Exactly.
Because you put the blame on God so often. That's the hugest downside to me, is when people blame God. You know what I mean, for the nonsense they saw. But we see the reality of these. Did anything good come from being a preacher's kid? And I'll go first, because that's kind of, because I already said it.
Yeah.
It's like I learned a lot about how to raise kids and to be an example and to not allow other people to infiltrate, even when you do have a certain image that you're supposed, and because you don't feel always like it, like being that guy. But I learned how not to take it out, on them. And how to, another thing I learned, how to separate the people from the God, and the religion, which is, we definitely got to do a religion topic.
Right.
We got to do a religion topic. But how to separate the religion from the God, from the people, because it can be hard to separate all these things. But I learned a lot.
With him and his dad that we didn't know about.
Yeah, that's why I said.
I still don't know.
That's why I say. That's why I say. It was different. It was like 1 and 2.
Yeah, so that's another preacher K for, because he's a preacher kid too.
Right.
The issues that he had with his own dad, like we never knew that. We thought they were,
seemed happy.
Yeah. But when you get older, then people share more stuff, more stories. So he felt that he disappointed granddaddy by not going into the military.
Oh, okay.
And
man, think about how many songs our older ancestors were singing about infidelity at the top of their lungs. Me and Mrs. Jones.
Yeah.
It was so many of them, and I was like, I didn't even realize. I'm like, everything about infidelity,
right.
because that's the life that they saw.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people not in the church, and I say, like, we got to see it also firsthand. We talking about being PK, but Mom's family gave us the other side of that, which kept us honest, because her brothers were the street ones. They were the people that were more down. So we went to a cookout with them. It was big. It was music. People were having fun.
Yeah.
I don't even recall seeing the McDonald family dance. But I know when we went to Mom's family, they were always dancing, having fun and everything. So as much as everybody wanted
Pleasant.
See Pleasant. That's what I tell See Pleasant's fine. Like, I love going up there. Like this is before you were born, but like, man, we used to be in See Pleasant, just in the neighborhood, running up and down the streets by ourselves. I love being in See Pleasant.
Yeah, we weren't PKs on
at
that
all.
side.
On that side of the family at all. So it's weird to hold us to that standard when we don't even feel that way.
Right.
We more so partying with the worthies.